So today there was no trades for me. There was some setups, but I didn't really like any of them because um, just where we're at in the market and on a Friday. Didn't want to end the week red just from some forced trades or some lower probability trades. I mean, yesterday we dumped 400 points in 2 hours. So the next day is always going to do something weird with news. We had news at 8:30, so this is this wick. And I knew that I was bearish because of this big sell-off, but I wasn't bearish down here because I'm not looking for shorts at the bottom of a 400 point leg down. So this low was barely swept, and we had this low intact. And then going into the day, we had this low and this data low. But I honestly wanted to see equilibrium of this range, but equilibrium was from market open about 200 points. We just hit equilibrium, and I mean, you know what I mean? Are you really going to take a trade after 200 points? So today I kind of wrote today off, so I didn't even really give a fair chance to any setup. But if we want to look back and look at the market, this is what we can do. So today, if you wanted to trade ICT concepts, and you were bullish, I'm not really sure if you should be trading today or not. But these were the data lows I wanted to get targeted. So I was like, okay, maybe we're gonna get a sell off. I open to get it, but we never end up doing that. So this is the first setup that I would see here that I again wouldn't take. I wouldn't take this setup, but this is a potential. This is kind of how I would trade. So you have this big 1 minute imbalance that holds here, and then we dip down lower. We don't break it. So we don't break that fair value gap, just kind of move over to the side. And then we inverse this 1 minute. So you could jump in along right off the inverse. Not short. You could jump in along right off the inverse, target these equal-ish highs, and then target this third high. This would have been your first. This could have been the first trade of the day, I see. Doesn't look terrible. I mean, if you're bullish, but I just saw the data lows, and I normally see data lows get taken maybe at some point in the day. Maybe we're coming back down now, but that was a trade that wasn't terrible. This was your only fair value gap entry right here, which is just not good risk. But yeah, that was a 62-point trade. If you took it all off here, it's like a 44-point trade. That would have been day done for 99% of people, myself included, but I didn't take it because I was a little bit bearish. So then we leave that low. That was the first setup. The next setup that's not terrible, but I wasn't looking for it, is because we came in, created an SMT here, and we didn't really displace through the low, but we made a fair value gap. So I wasn't necessarily looking for this to inverse because we had already taken this high, and I was honestly still bearish because we swept this high. We're in the imbalance. We're bearish on the day, I think, even though we're pumping higher. And then I was like, okay, maybe this is gonna be the first fair value gap to hold, because then I was expecting to see something like, not circle. I was expecting to see something like this, like come into the fair value gap, displace lower, maybe another entry, displace lower, chop, little soup at the bottom, and then take that low, and then, take that low. So that's kind of like a very, very rough picture of what I was expecting to see, just something like that. So I was expecting this to be a catalyst of that, and it wasn't. We were just bullish still, and so I wouldn't consider this inverse really too valid, even though, it works, but you just have to be bullish. If you're bullish, you find that fair value gap. If not, there was not too much telling me that was great, because there's no real fair value gap here. That could just be a momentum thing, like it went quick, but this is the next and only trade that you probably have left is, at the time, we make an SMT here, and we've been bullish, and at this point you can start being like, okay, maybe we're going to rebalance to equilibrium. which is what we end up doing. So I was curious about this. I took it on demo, again, because I kind of made up my mind I wasn't going to trade. As soon as this fair value gap breaks, I'm cool. I'm in longs and targeting these relative equal highs. This was the least the least payout on any of the trades. If you would have gone to break even after this high, you would have been stopped out very brutally. But this would have ran full TPs too. So every obvious inverse fair value gap to the bullish side worked today. So that shows you kind of why having a proper bias is always important, and also shows you, because I was bearish today, it shows that when you have, and it might not even be incorrect, it might just be taken in the PM, it might come out bearish, but it shows that if you are bearish, you got to wait for something that is clear, like this fair value gap. If you're shorting this fair value gap because of an SMT, sweep of liquidity and a bigger time frame balance, if you fail to understand the structure and that this is a 1 minute, doesn't hold much weight, that you need to see this displace lower, if you don't understand that, then you're going to get wrecked trading these markets, trading ICT concepts, whatever concepts you trade, if you don't have the experience to trade them and know when and when not to trade. So I think the biggest thing that take away from today for people is that if you don't know when to trade, or not even just when to trade, if you don't know when to, if you don't know when your bias might be wrong, or when to not just trade on your bias solely, when it's not super clear, based on where you're at in the charts, you just need to know, okay, I probably shouldn't trade here, right? Because this is the overnight, just nothing. You have this news spike that takes out all the lows. But I just don't trust news candles to be liquidity sweeps. Normally you just see another manipulation. You have a 400-point move down. This alone, that's kind of why I made my mind up early to just not trade, kind of subconsciously without even really thinking about it. But when you see this move on a Friday, just, give yourself a break. Don't stress yourself out trying to find a trade, getting in a trade. You could have made money. You could have made money here. You could have made money here. There's always money to be made in the market. Right here, you could have made a trade, but you just got to ask yourself, is this worth it? Like, if I lose this trade going long, will I be happy about losing that trade? And, if you risk yourself appropriately, maybe you take less contracts or lower size, that's cool. But there's just some days where you just don't need to be trading. And for me, and it's all personal. Some people had a great time today. They started trading bull flags here, and they were making crazy profit. But just for me, I knew what I wanted to see, and I knew that it wasn't really the best possible day for me to be looking for trades. And I kind of want to just take a pretty stressful week. I had a lot of I had small winning days because of big losses and then big wins. So I just kind of wanted to chill, look at the market, just watch the candles move, and know that at 11 a.m. I probably wasn't going to trade. If I didn't have a trade by 11, I'd just step away, and that's what I'm doing. So I make this session recap. What could I have done better? To be honest, I don't know. I don't think that just because I missed these moves or this inverse worked and this inverse worked, just because those things worked, I don't really think that I needed to find a trade today. So I think I did good with that. I think I did good with not needing to find a trade. I took some stuff on stabs on demos just for fun because I was sitting here, but I think that's what I did really well today, is knowing that I didn't want to trade. And yeah, maybe some stuff would have worked, but again, do you really want to trade this leg down and then when you're in this accumulation? So yesterday, I felt like it was a lot cleaner. We had, these highs got taken, but we still had these highs I was targeting. We put in a high on the day. We were clearly bullish. We clearly had a bias, and we were doing buy side of the curve. We must have completed it here. Cool. But now we're in a spot where we've completed sell side of this curve. We've taken out this low slightly, and it's like we leave this one, but we're also right next to it. So, I struggle to understand. I would struggle to be bullish today, but other than that, so if I'm struggling to be bullish, and I was short biased, but there's nothing I wanted. There's nothing I saw that I liked to be bullish or bearish, so you just don't get a trade. And I'm kind of saying the same things, but that is all I really have, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, again, if anyone's seen this to now, because this channel's been growing a little bit, still like 34 subscribers, 36 subscribers, at the time I'm recording this. But honestly, I did this as a journal for myself, which it still is. I'm just making this review for myself to reflect and learn from my trades, and just have my trade recordings and just throw them on YouTube to save space on my laptop. But I mean, it's honestly fun seeing the growth on this channel. I mean, no one is going to even see the end of this video because it's going to be pretty long. But I'm honestly pretty excited to see where this channel goes and just have fun with it. And because I trade every day regardless. It's not like for YouTube, obviously. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited to see the future of this YouTube channel even. And it makes me more motivated to pass my funded for the first time. That would be a pretty sick day. And honestly, if I pass the funded and I get my payout, my first payout, dude, I'm gonna do like a giveaway. Honestly, if I have like 1,000 subs, that would be crazy. But yeah, enough rambling. That's Friday. I might do a weekly review tomorrow, an overlook of the week and stuff like that, and maybe try and do like a little back testing, 20-30 minute of me just going over the market, reviewing, and learning. But not disappointed with the week overall. I think we ended our Top Step account up $250 total. I mean, we just couldn't have a decent winning day. We would have a big winner, but we'd have a lot of losers, and then we'd have a lot of break even. So this week was kind of frustrating because I couldn't get that one $500 day, $300 day, even $200 day. It was all like struggling to stay above water. So hopefully next week is a lot better, and that's all we can ask for. So yeah, I'll see you guys either tomorrow or next week, or who knows when.